Sweet and sour chicken is a great meal for a weeknight. It can be made in about 15 minutes and has over 40 grams of protein. Before you start with the chicken, place a pot on a scale and add in jasmine rice. I usually add 200 calories worth of rice, which is about 60 grams weight raw, add a pinch of salt and 120 grams of water, place it on a stove on high heat, and as soon as it starts to boil, reduce the heat to low, close the lid and let it simmer for 12 to 15 minutes, which is the time the rest of the recipe needs. Next, let's make the sauce. First off, you will need the liquid from a can of pineapple. Try to find one that doesn't have added sugar. Calories should be around 60 calories per 100 grams of fruit. Now, the liquid in these cans is not water, but actually pineapple juice that has around 50 to 60 calories per 100 grams. So put the bottle on a scale and add in 50 grams of the juice, which will give us the sweetness in the sauce. For the sour components, add 15 grams of rice vinegar, or you can also add white vinegar, and then 0 added sugar ketchup, 15 grams goes into the bowl as well. Then add 20 grams of soy sauce to add salt, and lastly 2 grams or half a teaspoon of cornstarch. This is very important, I will show you why in a second. Give the sauce a stir and notice how thin and still runny the sauce is. Keep this in mind. Next is the protein source, and I will use chicken thighs for this recipe. Chicken thighs aren't that much higher in calories than breast if you remove the skin. This is where most of the fat is stored, and by removing the skin and also all of the excess fat around the meat, you can save almost half the calories. Thighs are also a lot easier to cook than breast, especially in recipes where the meat is cooked in a sauce. Because they are so small, I will prepare 2 thighs, both weighing 180 grams in total. Also, people outside US might not easily find skinless thighs, so just remove the skin with a knife. It really takes about a minute. For seasoning, I will add a pinch of salt, freshly ground black pepper, and a couple of dashes of garlic powder. You can also cut the chicken into smaller pieces if you want. I find that especially if you have a small pan, it's a bit easier to cook them like this. Next are the vegetables, and you need to dice 1 yellow onion, which weighs around 50 grams, and then 1 bell pepper. I still had half an orange and half a red pepper in my fridge, so I'm going to cut them into planks, turn them, and then cut them again into bite-sized pieces. The bell peppers weigh 150 grams in total. Next are 2 cloves of garlic. Give them a light smash with your knife so they peel easier, and you also need 1 piece of ginger that will add a nice freshness to the sauce. Also, what I've learned is that it's much better to already grate the garlic and the ginger before you start cooking. This will reduce the chances of burning your meal by a lot, and it's also less stressful. So grate both into a small bowl, and then let's get cooking. Add a bit of oil to a pan on medium-high heat and start with the thighs. Spread them around for proper browning and let them sit there for about 1 minute before flipping everything. Keep doing this for 2 to 3 minutes until both sides have color, and then go in with the onions and the peppers. You don't need any more oil because the thighs still have some fat rendered out, which you can now use for the vegetables. Keep frying for about 2 to 3 more minutes until the onions and the peppers start to get color as well, and this is what I meant with thighs being easier to cook. You can just leave them in and don't worry, it's almost impossible to overcook thighs unlike breast, which can get dry very easily. After about 5 to 6 minutes in total, add in the ginger and the garlic and give everything a stir for just about 15 to 20 seconds, and then go in with the sauce, and optionally you can also add in 50 grams of chopped canned pineapple. Now let this simmer and keep stirring for 1 to 2 more minutes, and now look at the sauce. Remember how thin this was? Now it's almost like a syrup, and this is because of the cornstarch. It swells inside the sauce when heated and makes everything thicker. Alright, this should be ready at the same time the rice is cooked, so get yourself a bowl, place the rice at the bottom as the base, and then add all of the sweet and sour chicken on top. This is such a great weeknight meal, it tastes incredible. The macros for the entire thing are 634 calories, 84 grams of carbs, 16 grams of fat, and 44 grams of protein. I made a cookbook that helped me go from this to this without even thinking about being on a diet. 190 low-calorie, high-protein recipes from breakfast, lunch, or dessert, and even nutritional tables or protein sources. Everything you need is in here. And the best part is that I will constantly be updating the book with new recipes, and you will get every recipe update for free once you've purchased it. Join the thousands of people that already bought the book. The link is in the description.